Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. Welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all today for another Throwback Thursday. Hope everyone is having a good day, getting ready for the weekend. I know I certainly am. Thought I had something else to say, and I did. Nope, it went away. Anyway, before we get started, first of all, I want to give a thank you and a shout out to AJ the Boss 59. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Glad to have you. And then Catholic Brits, congratulations! You have claimed the crown of Furstendom on this day. I hope it has helped be a crown of victory after your meeting. Hop tea. Anyway, we're going to be diving back into some Super Metroid, so let's go ahead and get right into it. It's a little quiet. Good to see you, Brit. Stream yesterday was good. It was full of feelings. So we finished Spiritfarer. I guess down and to the left? No, leave me alone. Ah, yes, that's the door I can go through now. Maybe. Ow. Oh, everything's going terrible. No, I can't even get across here yet. Because I need the grappling hook. Okay. In that case, where do we want to go? Honestly, maybe back to Criteria? No! Stupid one-way doors. Twitch disabled that, how dare they? That does sound like what Twitch would do, though. So I think next we're supposed to take on the derelict spaceship and fight Fantoon. Almost cried out of frustration, maybe? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That is rough. But you survived the meeting. You got through it. Okay, this way I can't quite get to the wrecked ship yet, after all. Unless... or something. Did the meeting showed everyone just how much work needs to be done to sort out office changes and communication errors. Oof. Well, hopefully it was a productive time, though. Derpful Gaming, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Sorta. Well, sorta is progress. I can't aim if I'm using one hand to drink. I always want select to be map. I guess let's just go back down to Brinstar. Ow, as I hit every enemy on the way down. Wait. Can I... Of course, you can always ask a Burkadoo before a Rotata. You can ask a Burkadoo without a Rotata. Hey, Squirrel. Good to see ya. The radio show went well. Thought it was a fun interview to be on with Dave on. I did make the joke about playing Stuff the Priest with a squirrel. They got a kick out of that. Hey! Thank you for the 100 bits for the point farm. Figure out what would be an actually good reward for a lot of points. I think the points hole is funny, but I guess I need to go down to Norfair. Because I can't do anything in Meridia yet because I don't have the proper suit. Burkadoo, how do you have a relationship with the Holy Spirit? What does that look like growing up? He was rarely talked about and was always, that's the one person of the Trinity. And I say the words come Holy Spirit before giving a talk. Nothing more. I've learned over the years logically who he is, but I how to have the relationship with him. So never taught me how. Yeah, that's a great question. In many ways, it's just like having a relationship with anyone else in any of the other two persons in the Trinity. They are persons that we can have that relationship with them. And that can vary. I think I think this is where devotions can really come in handy, as they can be sort of the first steps in those relationships, kind of like the normal expectations of what a relationship or talking with someone might be like. Generally for me, this is gonna be more personal sharing than necessarily like universal sharing, if that makes sense. But I hope it's that makes sense. Oh, I got out of your grasp. Let me go. No, let me go. Payment info is still disconnected. Those are just leftover bits. Hey, that's all good. Made exceptions when a founder badge was available for a person. I'm a sucker for a founder badge. That's fair. Yeah, I think for me, the presence of the Holy Spirit is kind of, and like how I pay attention to it is twofold. One is the internal, like where just that sense of quiet listening, letting the Holy Spirit speak. So meditative prayer, reflective prayer like that. And then sort of outwardly seeing the fire of the Holy Spirit in the world, seeing where God has poured out, where the Father has poured out the Holy Spirit upon the world and set it ablaze with things like beauty and grandeur and love. Okay, so, yes. No, because that's a one-way. I guess it's that stuff on the right, if anything, but like... Yeah, so those are kind of my initial thoughts on the Holy Spirit. I hope that helps. That is a tricky one, because sometimes, relationship with Jesus is probably the easiest because of the incarnation, and that's kind of the point in many ways, in a wonderful way. And through the Son, we are led to the Father, so like that feels very natural. And then the Holy Spirit just, we're sometimes like, right, and that one. And the nature of the Holy Spirit is very ephemeral itself, as is fitting. But I guess first start with images of what you think of the Holy Spirit, what speaks to you the most. Use those in imaginative prayer and dialogue and conversation. Definitely, I'm aware of the Holy Spirit, nudges of presence, but I wouldn't say I have a relationship with the Holy Spirit. Yeah, and that's, I think, kind of what I'm saying, is that like relating to the Holy Spirit is probably the hardest of the three persons to relate to. Not impossible, obviously. This is where a lot of like writings of the mystics would probably be very helpful, like studying what they had to say and reflecting on. So I'd recommend like Teresa of Avila and John of the Cross. But I think also just like with relationality, what is the first image that resonates most with you, and like being able to sit with that and let it speak more. Yo, it's your friends. Yo, it's our friend. What up, Mel? Not much. Can't answer straight for golf tomorrow. Ooh. I believe in you. I've got my answers ready for Saturday. Although I will have to miss one of the games for sure. In terms of like watching. Because it's one of my brother's birthdays. He's 97. We're having a mariachi band come and play. There's a tournament Saturday. Yeah, mariachi. Yep, sudden death tournament. Yeah, I don't think I can. Speedrunners can get through there. I can't. So that's going to require the grapple hook as well. Another one? How? Because Peter is has put them off. That's how. I'm amazed that Peter got to mine so quickly, honestly. I think I can make this. I can. Prayer request. Our Catholic school that got hurricane damage. Oof. One of the students split between us schools. My building has officially closed permanently. Oh no! Oof. I'm sorry to hear that. Prayers for the community in the midst of that. Figuring out what that means for them. Ow, ow, everything's awful. Morph school with the cathedral school next year, but a lot of parents aren't happy. A lot of mess top. Yeah. Well, and I feel bad kind of for a lot of folks involved. That just sounds like such a mess to have to deal with. Okay, so it's not there. That's where we got speed boost. So yeah, I guess we have to go back up. I do not remember where to go in this game. Okay, let's go back up. Reassess our options up here. One design choice I don't like about this game is that doors are not shown on the maps. So you don't know if something's a dead end or not unless you just remember it. I guess there's an item there that I could get, or down there. So let's make our way towards those. Ah! I'd like to stand on this thing, please. So that's that room that we can't get through right now. The flowers eat you. Everything on this planet hates you. But yes, the flowers have surprise teeth. I think I have to go up through criteria to get back to where I want to be. Well, congratulations, us. We've gone in a giant loop. Cause Samus a snack, I guess? Well, that's not the way I wanted to go, but okay. What? What? Shine sparking? It's called Shine Spark. If you charge up your run, you can pause it, and then you can unleash it! It's a great mighty leap. However, I need to actually be launching it at an angle. No! Ah. Sometimes controlling it is a little awkward. That's nuts. Yeah, what's even more nuts is they don't even tell you about it in the manual. Like, like there's nothing in the game that says, hey, here, this is how you do it, except an animal that runs alongside you to demonstrate it. So you still have to figure it out. Am I hitting my head on the glass ceiling? No, Samus smashes the glass ceiling. Come on. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna move on. There's a secret door over there. That just gets you some more, like, missiles. Unless it's... I don't think it's here. Yeah. It's further up. We'll get there when we get Space Jump. da-da-da. So in the gospel today, Jesus has this line about don't look there, don't look here for the kingdom. Like, don't look around. The kingdom of God is already here. The kingdom of God is already around you. And I think he's right. Just Jesus, but, you know, I think it's a powerful reminder to us of we don't have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to our spiritual life. I guess, keep going down. Like, God's presence is already manifest to us in so many ways. Oh, I remember what all this is. This is where we learn the wall jump. Because we fall down here and we're like, oh no! Ow. Ow, I'm stuck. I'm stuck in a loop. I am stuck in a loop of terribleness. Get me out of here. Yeah, this is where they teach you about wall jumping, so we don't need to go there. And I'm terrible at wall jumping, so I'm just gonna try and skip backwards. There we go. Because all we're missing out is there's like one more like missile upgrade, I think. And that's what that closed door is at the top of this hallway. Hallway? Passageway? Vertical tube? Right there. Hole in the ground? Yeah, I guess. Well? Okay, so we're here, so we may as well scope out this room to the right here. Okay, so that we need to approach from the other side anyway, and we need grappling hook. Or we need wave beam. That's another option. That's the thing that... We don't have wave beam, do we? No. We have charge, ice, and spacer. Wave beam lets you shoot through things. So... down, I guess. So I think this needed speed? Oh no, this... We need the gravity... I think it's called the gravity suit. Because it lets you run through water normally, and then you can shoot that. Did I play this a lot as a kid? I never played this as a kid, actually. Never had it. Technically, I still don't have a cartridge of it. I keep seeing it at stores and going, I should grab that at some point, but don't have the money right now. It's not even that expensive of a Super Nintendo cartridge. It's like $20. But it's also one of those where it's like, it was one of the most popular games of all time, so I know I can get it when I want it. So I'm playing right now on the Switch Online. So the only other thing I can think of is Meridia. But to do Meridia... guess we give it a shot. Kinda like you, Okami. Never go back and buy a disc on it. A PS2 for it. Yeah. But again, PS2s are so cheap. Like, even at the end of the lifespan of the PlayStation 2, being sold in stores was like $40. Yeah, I'd like a physical copy at some point just because I'm a collector and I do like... Really? Yeah, PS2's got insane... Like, the PS2 Slim Series 9000, at the end of the lifespan, it was so cheap. Because there's basically an overglorified DVD player at that point. I mean, it's not what it always was, but especially then. Just be paying to play with longer loading screens. That's, yeah. But I got a PS2, like, just as the PS3 came out. And so, like, I could get a ton of games super cheap. And it was... Ah! Oh my goodness, I'm stuck. I cannot... I take too much damage. There we go. The timing on the damage and everything there was terrible because I couldn't actually get out of the water. Your Xbox 360's way of watching Netflix. You want a blast from the past? How about the fact that... Such a cool bit. How about the fact that Netflix on the Wii was originally a disc? I remember watching Netflix in college on that with friends. Yeah, the PS2 super cheap thing came at a really good time for me because I was working a night shift job at the time. So, you know, on days I wasn't working, I'm like, well, I don't want to change my schedule and be really tired. So I played just a lot of things. That's when I got back into Kingdom Hearts for the first time. I'd played Kingdom Hearts 1 around when it originally came out, but I'd never actually played 2 up until then. Netflix used to be all disc. This is true. That's even... Ooh, that's even farther back. Hey, Roxy, I had a question for you. Is there anything on the baby registry that you and Gail don't already have, but need or want? Did you know Gamefly still exists? Yeah, they're apparently still a thing. A couple things, mostly diapering stuff. Well, hey, if you want to send that list to me, because I didn't ever get around to getting something for the baby shower. Sorry about that. But I would still love to help provide in some way, so. Okay, so the sand is falling. island is too much for Samus. Oh, get out. Get. I'm stuck. Yeah, Gale, but that's why I know it exists from Gale. I bet the most money. I did because I wanted to make sure I was right. I have a bet on every single day. Oh, hey, we're out of water here. Wait. I've been here. Yeah, Gale and Bad Roxy did a thing where it's like, you know, just taking friendly guesses as to what day the baby will be born in on like a 3-week period. And each day is broken up into 3 8-hour chunks. I hedged my bet, quite literally. Oh my goodness. Why can I not make this anymore? It's like there's an invisible wall all of a sudden. You know what? Can I go far enough back? Nope. I can't even go far enough back to before where we fell down. Yeah, look at that. There's like invisible walls on everything. Not a good bet when they gave me the winnings. Yeah. I didn't say it was a good bet. I just said I wanted to be right. I want the bragging rights. Oh my goodness, we got up there once. Being right does feel good. Yep. And in the end, isn't that all that really matters? No, it's not actually, but... I'm paying for the serotonin of being right. But when you put it that way, you make it sound like it's an antidepressant. Oh no, I actually went over the top of it this time. Okay. You're paying for happy chemicals, aren't we all? Isn't that what capitalism is? I don't know why that jump was just so hard for me. I did the exercise, I drank the clear stuff. Give me the happy chemicals. Hey, that's me today. Dopamine rush from buying thing. Okay. Is in your set, or that's you drink water? I also did the exercise. Okay, I don't think there's anything else we can actually do here without the gravity suit. So there must be something in criteria that I'm missing. I'm so bad at that jump and specifically. Saying a high of 63. Well, it's a good thing you have a busted Halo sweatshirt. Best way up and to the left. The inside of my house is that warm. Gail, I know you're trying to save money, but come on. Your wife is pregnant. Let her have it be a little warmer. No ceiling plant, let go of me. No floor plant, let go of me. I'm being bullied by the floor and the ceiling. Oh my goodness. No! Why are these platforms so tiny? Who designed this? Shigeru Miyamoto, I'm going to come to your house and have a conversation with you. This place is horrible. 1 star, Samus. Everything bullied me. See its interior design. I used to know the order of things better because I had watched a bunch of speedruns, but I haven't watched any lately. So I think this top corner might be what we need to go for. my nut shine sparking enough for you? There we go. Yeah, see, we can't get through there yet. I feel like there's something very obvious I'm missing. I guess there's room there that I haven't completed. Let's go that way. Like I said, something obvious. I wish you could tell me too, but we're in this together. Oh. Nope, I'm not gonna get up to the other part. Greetings, mortals! Hello, Dragon Cat! Yon mortals hath been greeted. It's the first day in 2 to 3 months that I haven't been at work while I was streaming. That's fair. Glad you could be here today. Right, this is the room that I haven't completed to go down, because I need to beat bosses to do it. Oh. Hope you've been doing well, Dragon Cat. How is life, the universe, and everything? I think it's still 42. Perfectly cromulent in my book. Nah, things have been good. Except I can't figure out where I'm supposed to go here in Super Metroid. I guess there's a room there that goes up that I haven't completed. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to go towards. No, I know what that is. We just did that. That's the wall jump room. I hope the wall jump room doesn't actually have anything I need to progress with. That's where we fought Kraid. I need to just look this up at this point, I think. Okay. I think I have an idea where I need to go. Had to, refresh my memory of how to get to Crocomire. Doing better. Had a bad science inspection for 2 months. Oh, ugh. Man, science inspections are so obnoxious. But glad you're doing better. You've tricked me, game. See, this is where you learn Shine Spark. All hail Mel the Magnificent! It's a pretty good title. In college, when I added my roommate to my phone, I put him down as Andrew the Newman because we lived at the Newman Center together. And he was gonna put me in. Meep. There's Meep just hanging out, not a care in the world. He put me in his phone and he's like, I need to match. So it's Evan the... And I think we wound up settling on Evan the Mediocre. Or the Deeply Medium or something. It was something just like, yeah. You know, not insulting, but also just like, not huge praise. Evan the Mediocre? Yeah, I mean, it was our in-joke. It wasn't serious. He was a fun roommate. I figured if he was Newman, you'd be Seinfeld. That actually probably would have been funnier, but... I think I'm the one who came up with the line, to be fair. The Evangelist? It could be now. So I didn't really write a gospel. Wait, did I never actually open this door? I never opened this door. I never got this map info. Hey, Eminem. He loves Super Metroid. It is one of the best NES. I'm playing on the, Switch Online. But I have an 8-bit DOE SN30 Pro controller, so it feels like I'm playing on the Super Nintendo. Like, literally feels like it. You speak on the Gospels? I do, and I think that's pretty neat, too. But I technically did not write one. The Gospel according to Evan. Okay. Okay, so that needs the wave beam. The Gospel for Millennials. And it's just a book of memes. A little too on the nose. Evan who has no nickname. You know, it's actually true. Nicknames in general have just had a really a terrible time of sticking to me. My friends over the years have tried, and it just reverts back to Evan. I missed the funniest. College friend and I were talking about nicknames. He decided he'd call me B, and he's the only one who's ever used that nickname. I didn't even have one for him. So his nickname was Evan who has no nickname. I do appreciate a good meta nickname. I'm just so cool, no nickname can compare to it. I don't know about that. I've met me. Okay, so this room right below us is kind of where we need to be getting to. Oh, it was just this door all along. Like, it wasn't a hidden thing. It wasn't a secret. Like I said, it was going to be an obvious thing. I'm not allowed to reject your praise. It's illegal. Oh. I'm going to the praise jail. I have many nicknames over the years, and I haven't minded. A couple of hey, but generally most been decent ones. There you go. Mel, Melly, Melbo. Dale, M for murder. Okay, that tracks. I mean... So in college, my mom did this thing with her roommate, wherein if anyone called their dorm phone, because, you know, it was in an era where everyone's dorm had its own phone, they would often answer, the CNC morgue, you stab him, we slap him, you kill him, we chill him, or things like that. How are you supposed to do that? With cheating. Yeah, there's... Can you help me out here, Eminem? I do not remember what I'm supposed to do next. Like, I know I'm in the right area. I'm supposed to get to Crocomire, but I don't remember how. What have I done? We got Ice Beam last. You can power bomb up by where you were to get the Ice Beam. Where I got the Ice Beam. Where did I get the Ice Beam? Top left. Okay. What, you don't want to dox yourself? Just casual self-talks in chat. I guess the good news of watching me play is I'm pretty terrible, so it's going to take a while. So you're going to see plenty of the really nice sprite work and hear the great soundtrack a bunch. I don't get a lot of nicknames, but I do get a lot of people telling me they have a dog with my name. Yeah, well, I blame your parents. It was very awkward when I met you for the first time. Okay, this is progress. Thank you, Alpha. I knew there was some way here, I just could not remember what it was. I have a decent first name, several decent nicknames, but unfortunately all of them came directly from your tragic backstory, TM. So I don't like any of them. Sad. A lot of people don't pronounce my first name technically correct. I don't say it right half the time. It's 50-50 of people who say my whole name wrong, would just call me Brit. I don't mind Brit, clearly. Yep, that's what I would hope so. When I was crafting a roller derby name, I settled on Rotten Roxy. That's a good one. When I settled on a roller derby name, I just settled on Indecipherable Screaming. That just loops back. The whole Brittany thing is technically 3 syllables, not 2. Oh, isn't that the, like, French pronunciation? At some point I would like to change my name, but I haven't found something I like better. Jim. Just Jim. Plain and simple, Jim. Be gone, Crocomire. Back it up, back it up. Mazel tov. Poor Crocomire. Yeah, but he gets a really cool death animation. Indecipherable screaming is. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you. Get on your platform of death, please. Thank you. Oh no, it's time for round 2. Time to panic. Samus got the dance moves in the disco. Should not have taken me 3 tries to spell indecipherable. I mean, it's not that common of a word. I think you're okay. Oh no, Skeleboy. Skeleboy kind of fell apart. Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy? What if I'd done indefatigable? That's another fun one to try and spell. Indy, what? Damn, PH is pretending to be Fs. The Greek language is gonna have to answer for this one. Yay! Grappling! We got the thing finally! What's the word you said? Indefatigable. Easy. Well, we know who's going to the spelling bee now. So there's a musical called the 43rd Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. And as part of it, they drag in audience members to be part of the school and compete in the said spelling bee. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. My philosophy club in college had that on a t-shirt. Anyway, so they drag people on stage, and they get to spell, and usually the first word is really easy. But then, like, the second word is intentionally impossible, so that they can go back and sit in the audience. Well, my dad got a word that starts with a Z sound. I forget what it was. And it actually starts with an X. He, of course, he didn't necessarily know the word, but he could tell by the context. It's like, oh, okay, this is one of those words that has an X in it at the start. So he starts to spell it correctly, and he sees this look of terror in all the actors' faces who are the judges. And I think they just improv something to disqualify him, like there's a silent TH or something. Like, just something for the sake of getting him off the stage. Because they're like, we did not account for this. Hey, there he is. Oh, there's the word. Xerophthalmia. Xenomorph. Word that it's so simple. Okay, so now that we have that, kind of the world's our oyster. It means redness of the eyes. Well, there you go. See, we all learned something today. It wasn't probably what you expected to learn, but we learned something. So now that I have the grapple hook, I think I can actually get into the wrecked ship. So to get there, I need to make it back to Brinstar first. The most southern reason for not being in your spelling bee? What is the most southern reason? Is this Florida Southern or General Southern? Because either way, it's got to be great. That sneeze was so hard that my shoulders actually kind of hurt. That's right, you grew up in Texas. Still. I want to know. What is the southern reason? We had qualifying rounds in class, and I didn't make it solely because the word was frustrated. Because as a kid, I said frustrated. So that's how I spelled it. That's very common in the South. Ah, that is very southern, I feel. I just forgot the word. There's an N in light, or two N's in lightning. I spelled out lighting instead. I was like, oh, what? Lightning is a terrible word. Yeah, but have you ever watched a lightning storm? It's really cool. There's this one time in college, I was hanging out at my friend's house, and down the road they had this clear view to the mountains. And there was this lightning storm just hovering on top of the mountaintop. And so we just went down, we stood in the middle of the street and just gawked at it for like an hour and a half. And it didn't move. That was one of the interesting things. It did not really come down off the mountainside. You've only seen ones right on top of you. I feel like that would be less fun. It was really interesting because it wasn't a thunderstorm. It was just lightning. But it was at night, so it was like lighting everything up on the mountaintop. It was really cool. The word Caribbean has official pronunciation. Caribbean. Erp. So if you want to stump someone with the spelling of a word, an easy way to do it is ask them to spell Caribbean. They'll spell it with 2 R's, which is incorrect. That's devious. I get to go to the Caribbean for the first time next year, or next month. True, and eventually Texas. I've been to Texas. But more specifically, I need to get back to Texas. Have you been to Florida? I have. I've been to the Orlando region many a time. No. I cast regular missile. What? You have no targets. I'm attacking the darkness. No! The grapple has some interesting momentum. No. I must come back to Florida. I should. I've been to Florida a lot in the last few years, actually. I have been to Florida 5 times in the last as many years. Well, yes, I will cheese this. Hell, you can't give away all your spelling techniques. Everyone will beat you with the spelling bee now. I've always pronounced Caribbean as Caribbean. That's just how it's spelled. When Pirates of the Caribbean came out, everyone started correcting me and telling me that the mispronunciation. Oh. I'm sorry, English having multiple pronunciations. Oh, a spooky ghost thing. You start carrying a dictionary? That is that's a power move right there. No, I didn't actually want to fall down there. But I think it is actually where I need to go. So we need to turn on the power for the ship. Consult the source material, you fools. What is the etymology of Caribbean? My boss has interrupted me, so I must... I'm so sorry if you said, but why have you been to Florida frequently? Disney. I like Disney. It comes from Caribs. Isn't that a kind of plant? Oh no, that's the people. They inhabited the islands. The Carib people. Okay, that makes sense. That's neat. Be gone, creepy eye. Oh. Oh, we're just here at the boss. And me without a whole lot of missiles. No! That was a good shot with the super missile. I totally intended that. I am so bad at fighting Phantoon. This is like easily my least favorite boss in the whole game. Okay, we have reserved tanks. Why am I going to the Caribbean? I'm going on a cruise. I'm going as the chaplain. I actually... So the, like, organization that I worked through to be a chaplain just posted one, and it's like a 3-month cruise from Tokyo to New York. And it's like, that sounds really cool. I don't know how I'd afford that. Yeah, it should be a good time. I'm gonna take my brother along with me. Okay. Okay, there we go. Woo! We beat him. Do they not pay you to be the chaplain? There's a whole arrangement that you work. There's like this organization that's kind of a third party that helps to coordinate the chaplains to the cruises, and it can vary from cruise to cruise. But you know, there are. It's complicated, but you know. Imagine it's all retirees on the ship. Probably. But also in terms of affording it, I don't know how I'd afford 3 months time off. I don't know how I should be able to justify to my boss and to you all, my audience, you know, that I you know, do this for. Being like, okay, I'm gonna disappear for 3 months. Bye. Because not a lot of streaming at sea. Three months of Burgundy's filling up. It's gonna be a really long road to want to get back. It's gonna be like the Easter Vigil. Hey, you just got paid! Hey, that's great. I don't think anyone would fault you for taking a 3-month working vacation. You know... Not so sure my superiors would see it that way. Oh, Mel, thank you for the 300 bits. Good to see you, Hard Mithril. All right, let's see what this is. I've been waiting. Knew it. Who doesn't love a good retro evening? Amen to that. Tahine mango rings. I had to find them. They were buried. Oh, they've gone stale. These are as hard as a rock. Sure you'll be mad at you? No. Because ultimately, if I just don't like it, I don't have to put it on the wheel. It's so artificial mango-y. And so rock solid. Not a lot of tahini going on. Oh, I'll try it for sure. I'm within reason. I think the only thing I wouldn't eat is like the stuff that's literally meant to gross you out, like the jelly beans that taste like dog food. It's like, nah. I'm not into things for the gross out aspect. I'm into the things for their weirdness. You tried one since they're individually wrapped? Well, there you go. So if you don't actually open all those doors right there, you have to refight everything when you come back. Bad robot. Get in your hole, robot. Get in your hole. Give me my missiles. For not having a lot of tahini flavor, they certainly have tahini burn. Like there's a mild burn going on in the back of my throat. Maybe next time the wheel will give you something not tahini. It remains to be... I feel like there's a to-be-seen joke here, given the rhyme. But I can't quite come up with it. Reserve tank. Nice, but not necessarily game advancing. But we did actually beat another of the 4 bosses we need to fight, so that's something. I think really once we have gravity suit or whatever it's called, the thing that lets us jump in water normally, that will really open up the map for us finally, because then we can take out the boss. I forget its name, the bug mom. There's something down there. And that's in Meridia, and then there's Ridley in Lower Norfair, I think. And then it's Mother Brain. So I know there's something still here. Okay, it's not that. So there's that passageway we saw. From outside. So yeah, you see where that box is? That's where we need to try and get to, I think. As long as I'm in the water, I can't bomb jump to that. Ah! Okay, I don't think that's the way, because that door's actually closed. Locked. So the way to the right, we can't get to, because that require... Well, unless we're supposed to get in there from the outside? I don't know how we're supposed to get there from the outside. Wish I had more than just a scrap of health. So below here. So how am I supposed to get down there? So there doesn't seem to be anything bombable, so I guess I'm supposed to come from below? That doesn't seem possible either. Oh, there's something. A dead end. Oh, hey, is this the new Subnautica? Yeah, it's in the pre-alpha testing. They were very generous and gave it to me. In fact, it was a little cursed because they were kind of just like, it's your problem now. How you doing, Tony? Hey, look, we found the way. It's a very different direction from what I would expect. I know, it's very avant-garde. Especially, you know, intentionally scaling the graphics back. But, you know, I think it gets the spirit across. You're good? I'm doing pretty good. It's bowling ball room. I have, like, no health. Oh, come on, Samus. Jump, please. This jump is specifically designed to hate me. This looks painful. It would be less painful if I had more health, but the last boss really did a number on me because I'm terrible at fighting them. Whatever. We made it across. Bowling alley. Gravity suit! Finally, we can now jump in the water just normal. So we can go punch the bug in Meridia. And also we look purple. Hex code purple. We found gravity! We did. Let's check this out. Cha! Jumping in water like it's nothing. Okay, let's get back to our spaceship. Oh no, your internet is in and out. Bad internet. Do better. I just paid the bill. That's why it's going out. And they're like, oh, we could get more money out of here. This internet is so Wendy's. No, Wendy's internet's probably better. Your new boss is super reasonable. I'm waiting on her boss to approve an article that's supposed to go out today. I asked my boss if I had to stay late to wait for a reply. I said, no, don't go home. I can go out tomorrow. Yay! We love same bosses. Okay, let's go get to Meridia, and that's where we're gonna call it for the day. Father's talking about you. Yeah, I'm saying great things. Because Mel is an awesome and wonderful person. And she's going to do great at Game of Favorites tomorrow night. Half an hour yesterday to get stuff pushed out. Thank you for staying late. Is this what a sane boss who appreciates her staff is like? Yes. Can't believe he'd say that about Melanie. But I agree. Oh. What sultry, saucy things are you saying, Big Tony? One of these pipes has a path you can go down, and I think there's an energy pack in there, but I don't remember which one. Oh, look at all the things that are being said of you, Melody. Haha, I have gravity suit, you cannot touch me. Silly jump, you thought you could best me earlier, now I am the best. I don't know why I've devolved into a bad Russian accent. It's been a busy week, I guess. Oh, she's back. Quit talking about Mel. Why is your Russian accent the funniest? Because it's intentionally terrible. Yeah, see, Patches knows what's up. Patches knows that nothing was said. Shifty Patches. I read that as something else, and I was surprised Automod didn't get it. Rabbits may not be able to speak, but they say plenty with their eyes. Ooh, serious? Look at these tiny things I have to grapple onto. Nope. Nope. I swear I'm getting that, but the game thinks differently. You take care, Britt. Good luck with the stole. Save state system seems to be changing. This is the Switch Online. It's the same thing that the mini Super Nintendo that they sold. It's actually that exact same software. but it's definitely helping with my sanity, if nothing else. But Bad Roxy has redeemed a father joke, and I think that is a great uh, place to call it for the day. Thank you so much for tuning in to let us play. I've been your host, Father Ev. No, I'll get you your father joke, Bad Roxy. I promise. We're gonna. Why are we calling it? Because it's the end of the stream. It has been the time. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning in. Bad Roxy, here's your father joke, and I think it's appropriate with you and Gail expecting soon. What time of day do dads change the most diapers? What time of day do dads change the most diapers? In the wee hours. What are we calling it? Yes. As an appropriate response, Mel. So anyway, thank you so much for everyone tuning in to let us play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with y'all today. I hope you have a great weekend ahead of you. Um, join. Actually, I'll be on P Tony's channel Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern time, for the Game of Favorites sudden death tournament. I'll be competing in the 2 o'clock game, hopefully in the final game too. So let's go. Um, Also a wee joke. It was just a wee one, just a little itty bitty. Um, Join us again Monday for RPG Monday with more Chrono Trigger. Spirituality Tuesday, we're going to be starting a card game called Victory at Hebron. Midweek Minecraft, of course, and then continuing with Super Metroid. I think we can finish it next week, hopefully. So we shall see. But yeah, thank you again to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits, all that good jazz. Checked out the YouTube, checked out the Discord. And I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. And let's see who's live to raid into. Gonna send you on over to Yuha. He's playing some Final Fantasy 16. I know nothing about Final Fantasy 16, except that it's out now. Raid call's just gonna be normal father raid. Go give Yuha some love. So I'll hope to see y'all later. Hope to see you on Saturday for Game of Favorites. Take care and God bless.